Hello and welcome back to another What the Teacher Wants Wednesday. Today I'll be sharing 6 quick tips to increase student engagement. So have you ever heard that quote that goes something like this? Tell me and I forget, teach me and I learn, involve me and I remember. I feel like that last part is so important because involving students in your classroom is one of the best keys to student engagement. And one of the first ways I like to do this, if you've been following me for a while, since before virtual learning, I love using a microphone in the classroom. Now, I also incorporated this past year with a pretend microphone, but in my classroom, I have one of the Bluetooth karaoke microphones. I use it for all kinds of things, and I have a blog post about this if you'd like to see pictures and examples as well for celebrating authors, all kinds of reasons you can use a microphone in your classroom. If you don't have one, I would highly recommend grabbing one on Amazon this summer. They are, I believe, under $20 still. I know I got mine for Prime Day, but I'm sure you can find one for pretty cheap. So the other reason that I love using a microphone, and one of the easiest things you could incorporate right away, is for a quick game show host review question. So at the beginning of the year when I'm giving directions and I need students to snap back into it, right? Because we do a lot of talking, I think, at the beginning of the year, and kids do a lot of listening and learning, and then they're involved. So to involve students and kind of switch it up, I will say, let's say I'm giving a direction on math, and I'll say, okay, let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, let me grab my microphone. I swoosh down, swoosh back up, have a pretend or real microphone and say, ladies and gentlemen, for $1 million, can anyone tell us? And I just ask a question. And I'm sure you can find on my Instagram, on my highlights, I have my classroom jobs. And one of the jobs is a reporter. And they are literally the only student that is in charge of taking out the microphone from the case, cleaning it, handing it to whoever's speaking, cleaning it again, putting it back in, charging the microphone. That's like their one job. They report on things, they go get the microphone just like a real reporter does, and that is their job. So at the beginning of the year, I'm doing all this, and then once kids are comfortable, I introduce class jobs, and that's an easy way to manage the microphone in the classroom. Another quick tip for engagement is brain breaks and movement. Brain breaks, movement breaks, a great way to get kids engaged in what they're learning, as well as to just get their attention back when you can tell they just have the wiggles. Go Noodle is fantastic for this. Thumbs up if you are a Go Noodle teacher too. Woo! Love Go Noodle. And I also love Simon Says, but I don't just do Simon Says. In kindergarten, I like to call it Miss Schultz Says. And I'll say, boys and girls, you never know when Miss Schultz is going to break out a game of Miss Schultz Says. They will be, writing their name on their paper or something at their tables. I can tell they're starting to, get a little antsy. They need to get the wiggles out. And I'll say, Miss Schultz Says, put your hands up. Miss Schultz Says, raise the roof. Ooh, 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 ooh. Miss Schultz Says, give yourself a big, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then I'll say, okay, Miss Schultz Says get back to learning, and they'll go back to doing whatever the direction was. Great way to get kids engaged, and they love it every time. So my next tip is a little silly, but it's using puppets, stuffed animals, and silly voices in the classroom. And one of my favorite puppets I just got this summer is Marty Monster. Say hello to Marty. Hello, I'm Marty Monster. Marty is coming back to school with me this year, and he is going to show the kids how crazy he can be in the classroom. I can be really crazy. And I do all kinds of silly voices like that. And I pretend that the puppet is either acting out like a social situation. I use them to teach the rules at the beginning of the year. Like Marty is going to show them how crazy he can be at school. And of course the kids will correct him and say, we don't run in the classroom. We don't push. We push in our chair when we stand up. We wait our turn, all those things. So I use them for all kinds of things, and using silly voices and being animated is super fun. If you followed me this year, you saw I used lots of puppets for virtual learning, and the kids absolutely love it. And believe it or not, there is inevitably one child every year that may say, Miss Schultz, Marty is not real, or whatever your puppet stuffed animal is. And to that, I respond in a very overdramatic way, covering the animal's ears, going, oh my goodness, shh, don't his feelings. Marty, you are a real monster.
Yes, I am.
And that's it. Because kids want to believe in the magic and have fun too. So that brings me to my next tip, which is if you use attention getters and callbacks, give me a thumbs up. I love them, but they can get boring. So my tip is change up your callbacks and attention getters every month. I do this and the kids are so excited. I start in August or September with a quick and easy one that goes like this. Apples on top, and the kids say, everybody stop, and they'll clap their hands. And if you've been following me for a while or want to check it out on my Instagram post, you can see way back before COVID in November of 2019, I guess, I would do gobble, gobble, hands on top, and the kids say, we were talking, now we'll stop. And that means that they stop and they look at me and they drop whatever they're doing. And it's just a quick, easy way to get their attention no matter where we are, what we're doing. It's a great way to get kids engaged in learning again. And if you would like to check them out, I have a freebie for you. It's been way overdue. I've been working on it for a while. Of all the monthly attention getters, you can check them out. I have the link below. And hopefully they will be helpful for you to implement in your class as well. So changing up those attention getters as well as incorporating singing and transitions into the classroom are a huge game changer to get students' attention. If you saw my What the Teacher Wants Wednesday last week, you know that for centers, we sing some different songs. For math, we say, celebrate good times, it's math. And then the kids know it's time for math centers. We also sing for reading. It's reading time, baby. Dun 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 dun. It's reading time, baby. Dun 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 dun. And we stop. And that means that by that time, they walk, push in their chair, walk to the carpet, and they're ready to go for reading centers. I do lots of these throughout the day, including my listening song, my hallway chant. You can check those out in previous What the Teacher Wants Wednesdays if you missed those for back to school. And so if you'd like more tips on student engagement, I have 2 more that I share on my blog post. I'll link below. And yeah, I could talk on and on about student engagement because I feel like there's so many fun things that you can do to keep kids engaged in learning and have fun in your classroom. And I'll give you a clue. One of them, the big one that I love talking about, is classroom transformations, which I'll chat about next week on What the Teacher Wants Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching. If you heard anything that resonated with you or something that you think you could incorporate, or you have any questions about other ways that I get kids engaged or something that I shared today, let me know below and I'll share them out tonight. See ya.